Hello friends, welcome back to Pathshala. In this session, we will discuss the transportation process in plants. Transportation in plants occurs by the simple diffusion process. The carbon dioxide that is taken up by the stomata or in case of the lentil cells or some stomata in green plants actually, the carbon dioxide simply diffuses into the cells to form a carbohydrate food material, and the byproduct that is produced at the end of the photosynthesis process also releases via the diffusion process. Also, the water that is taken up by the root hair in the roots occurs via the simple diffusion process. But the simple diffusion but not the only component that help in transportation. The water taken up by the root hair cells or the food product that produced in the green part of the plant, especially in the leaves, has to travel a long distance. Means the water has to travel from roots to the leaves, and the food material has to travel from leaves to the stems and roots, and also in other parts of the plants. So there is a need for proper transportation system in presence of proper transportation system in plants. So to transport the essential elements, plants need a well developed transportation system, and to regulate the energy flow, as the plants don't move from one place to another, say they require lower energy requirement from the animals, but to fulfill the energy requirement they need the food, and to move the water that is taken up by the root hair cell, it has to travel a long distance to reach into the leaves to help in the photosynthesis process. So for this mechanism, plants need a well developed transportation system. Plants don't have any circulatory system, they have the transportation system. And from small bushy plants or small plants or small herbs to tall trees, they all have a well developed transportation system. So let us discuss now the components of transportation system in plants. So next topic is components of, this is actually the main topic, components of transportation system in plants. There are two types of transportation system present in the plants. First one is the xylem cells and the second one is the phloem system. From the xylem system, the water conducts or water travels from root to various other organs, especially in leaves, and the food produced in the green area, especially in the leaves, travel to other organs of the or other parts of the plant body via the phloem system. So let us discuss the first component first, is the xylem. Xylem is actually a complex, xylem made up of complex tissues that carries water or that helps in water or the minerals that are absorbed by the root hair. It conducts water and the minerals throughout the whole body of plant. Xylem has four components. First one is known as xylem vessels or the trachea. Second component is tracheids. Third component is xylem fibers. And the last component is xylem parenchyma. So, the xylem vessels or xylem trachea are nothing but the tracheids also nothing but elongated cells, and it is made up of dead cells. Both the trachea, tracheid and the fibers are made up of dead cells. Dead cells because when these cells are alive at very young stages of plant, their cellulose content is substituted by the lignin, and the lignin contained in the cell wall makes the cell to uh, uh, to evaporate, or makes the cells dead, because the content, the lignin, thus being a hard substance, the outer substances or outer materials won't enter into the cell. So that makes the lignin content makes the cells dead. So the trachea or the tracheid are elongated cell-like structures, dead cells, which conducts water and minerals also. And between the two cells there are some pits. There are some pits present, and these pits actually help in upward and water taken up by the root hair, and it moves upward from root to the leaves. So that is why the pits help in the pits actually help to move the water flows into upward as well as in sideways direction too. And the lignin content makes the cells impermeable to water and fluid, so the water that flows in between these cells or the trachea and tracheid won't gets out from this element because of the lignin content. So these cells contain lignin in its cell wall, and this makes the walls impermeable to water and minerals, so water won't escape from these pipes. So there are lymph vessels or trachea and tracheids in the xylem, as well as there are xylem fibers, which gives the mechanical strength to the plant. Due to the presence of dead cell, the trachea and tracheids also gives mechanical support to plant. Last I discuss the lastly I will talk about the xylem parenchyma. So xylem parenchyma is made up of living cells. So xylem parenchyma is made up of living cells. It is the only living component in the xylem, and it basically stores food and some other materials also. And this xylem parenchyma also helps in conduction of water. Basically it stores food, but it also helps in conduction of water also. So the xylem is made up of complex tissue and helps in conduction of water and water soluble some minerals also. And it is made up of four components: xylem vessels or trachea, tracheid and xylem fiber. These three components are made up of dead cells, which is mainly dedicated to transportation of water, and it also gives mechanical support to plants. And the fourth part is xylem parenchyma, which is made up of living cells. It stores food material, and it also some conduction of water also occurs through this xylem parenchyma. The next topic or the next component of the transportation system in plants is the phloem system. So next I discuss the phloem system or the phloem. Phloem are also made up of complex tissues and they are mainly dedicated to conduction of the food synthesized by the photosynthesis process. So phloem also has four components. First component is known as sieve cells, or rather I say the sieve tubes. Sieve tube. Next is companion cells. The third one is phloem parenchyma, and the last one is phloem fibers. The sieve tube here, sieve tube, companion cell and parenchyma. These three components are made up of living cells, while the fiber constitute of dead cells. So the phloem fiber gives the mechanical support. All the fiber parts in the plants gives only the mechanical support. So the phloem fibers also gives the mechanical support to the plants. Then the companion cells are the elongated cell-like structures, and in between them there is a tube-like structure present, and this tube-like structure is somewhat porous in nature. So this tube-like structure is known as sieve tubes. This tube-like structure is known as sieve tubes, and this formation of plate-like structure, porous plate-like structure. So this porous plate-like structure is known as sieve plate, and the cells at both the sides of sieve tube is known as companion cells. So these are the companion cells. The sieve plates or sieve tube cells or the companion cells have nucleus in it, so it is a living cell. Then the phloem parenchyma. The phloem parenchyma runs alongside of this companion cell and the sieve tube. This phloem parenchyma actually stores the food material, and this phloem parenchyma is also made up of living cells. So there are four components of phloem also. First one is sieve tube, second one is companion cell, third one is phloem parenchyma, and all these three components are made up of living cells, and their major function is to conduct food material that are produced in leaves in the photosynthesis process to other parts of the plant body. And the last one is phloem fiber. This is made up of dead cells, so it gives mechanical strength or mechanical support to the plants. Thank you so much for today's session. Hope you will enjoy this session very well.